Hello and welcome to Series 1, Episode 1 of this Transformation What's Next series called Transformation Follow-Up. This presentation is also a review of transformation. It's designed for people that have been through a transformational education and understand transformation language. It's not designed for people that are new to transformation. It's a practical guide that can be followed by the reviewers, and it's a documented process that works in practice and gives great results in terms of creating possibilities and connections with others. As I said, it's for people that have been through a transformation education. However, you still need to be open and willing to have your existing and prevailing mindset examined and questioned. Your personality, you might call that, and be open to transforming that mindset, which is made up of your worldview and your frames of reference. If you're willing to do that and be at risk and play full out in that, then we can continue on with this presentation. So if we review transformation, these are things that I'm sure you already know. However, it's good to sometimes cover them as they've occurred to someone else. A transformational experience or education, of course, can be very empowering, extremely rewarding, and an amazing experience, and reconnecting time back with family and friends and others. And unfortunately, though, some people get left really wanting more, but soon after experience a heavy slowdown or drop in forward momentum, and the outcomes start to disappear, and people get a little bit annoyed with them constantly being all excited for weeks at a time, and then all of a sudden things can start to turn downhill. Relationships start to fail and all sorts of things can go wrong. So this presentation just shows some findings from my experiences that have emerged and that appear to work in an ongoing manner against that slowdown, and the process that you can follow, which was a model that I created that can enable continued transformations in many areas, and hopefully that will resonate with you and maybe transposable into your areas that you're creating for yourself in transformation with others. My goal here was to bring forth the clarity to ensure that other people could ensure that they had access to all areas of transformation in all areas of their life, particularly with work and their relationships and their children. And anywhere, though, that you've lost power or control, as you know, and are getting persistent and recurring outcomes, you can use a transformation process, if you had one, and you now will after this series, to implement what you create as a possibility in that area, such that you get control back. I hope that some of this presentation really resonates with you and can assist you in your own breakdown, and then, of course, build up in your view of the areas where you've lost power today. And again, that's an easy to follow process for recurring transformations. You may have gotten through your whole transformational education without really playing 1000% full out. I know I did. I know a lot of people that did. You might not have been fully authentic with yourself. I know it can be daunting to telephone others all the time, so often we won't do that. Or meeting and talking and repairing and reconnecting and going crazy with people over days at a time. Except, of course, for the people that we consider safe. Friends that we know will listen but not necessarily get upset at us. You might not have been generous or over-loving towards others and the possibilities that it may create, since they might laugh or make you wrong and other things, like it matters, of course. At the time, I'm sure it did, and I'm sure now some of it does too. But perhaps maybe if you just waited just a little while, you could plan better and be clearer and playful out later when you're more comfortable in your own space and time. You know, that might be another thing coming up for some people. But essentially without really deconstructing your meanings in things, which is a lot of hard work. Some people look at this presentation, especially around architecting conversations, and say, yeah, but that's a lot of work, you know, that's like an hour or so to architect a conversation, yet they prefer to live in a suffering for 40 years than spend 1 hour on architecting a conversation maybe with their parents that would break down barriers forever. Okay, so if you did that, you're really not alone. But walking the talk, so to speak, requires powerful conversations about transformation with others. That's where transformation lives. It's not a solo activity. If you're thinking about a whole bunch of stuff, it's really irrelevant unless it's in life. It might change your view or reactive, that's automatic reactions to people from time to time. But what we're talking about here is real transformational reconnections with others. And that is not a solo activity. So the process we're going to cover is a complete transformation model that I created. And this model can be used as practical steps that you can follow to ensure progress. The model is sort of shown there, and we're going to go through that in a little detail. Again, is it worth it? Absolutely. Is life worth it? Your life is. I'm sure you think so. And if it is, then why not spend a little time, a couple of hours maybe, going through this potential model that's been created. I haven't found a process model for transformation documented anywhere before, and we'll look at this model in a bit more detail, as I said. Okay, so in the last 2 years I got that I'd never really felt true peace. After a transformational education, and even 2 years later, I hadn't really felt this true peace until I really started reconnecting and really started getting transformation in my life. I'd certainly been content, happy, relaxed, especially when on family holidays with my children. That to me is the most pleasing and rewarding and fulfilling experience of all. But I didn't realize how valuable it is to have a true inner peace that really does come from transformations, and be able to just say and leave things exactly for what they are, and of course what they're not. And in that space I'm extremely happy, and I'm sure that that you would be also. I really hope that inner struggle is overcome for yourself. It has been for myself, and you get peace in those areas as soon as you overcome that struggle. I couldn't find this anywhere documented, as I said, and my goal was to get clarity with a model that I could use myself, because that's how sort of my mind works, and assist others through that process as well, because I also do a lot of volunteer work and other work for others. Especially around relations, connections with others, relationships and understandings around automatic reactions that aren't necessarily conducive to a peaceful life. This document, as I said, is a list of my own experiences and my own areas of investigation. And some things may resonate with you and overlay into your own areas, and of course many things will not. This may just yet be the scratch on the tip of the iceberg, and if it is, and if it's only a start, then fantastic. I'll have many more amazing realizations and the peace that comes from them to come, which would be a fantastic outcome in any case.